All right. Should be live any second. And there we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, Barn on 11970. As usual, I'd like to thank everyone that takes the time to listen to what I have to say. And hopefully, if something beneficial comes out of it, then to me, that was a good thing. So welcome to everybody, whether you're watching this live or days, weeks, months, years later. Who knows? I appreciate it. It is 5:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 6th of February, 2017. And I have an interesting little experiment that I want to share with you. And first, I want to give you a little background of the situation. I was one of the people that, ever since I was a baby, I had breathing problems. I had walking pneumonia. I would be susceptible to asthma. Just the simple little cold would make me sick to the point my lungs would fill up with fluid, and I would get deathly ill. I mean, I've had fevers up to 103, which, I mean, you have to have an ambulance take you, and they have to get you down because temperatures above that, you could die. I've almost died from walking pneumonia 5 times in my life. Years ago, if you've been following this channel, and I still have the videos up, I was trying to find alternative ways to try and start getting better. And one of the things I discovered was sun gazing. Now, I know a lot of people think that's weird, or they think it's crazy or whatever. But all I know is when I researched it and I did it properly for 2 years, I did not get sick once. Now, those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, they already know this, but if you're newer to my channel, you may not know. I've almost died from walking pneumonia about 5 times in my life. I mean, it gets really serious. When I started doing the sun gazing and I did it properly, for 2 years straight, not only did I not get sick once, I was able to run, I was able to shovel snow. And if you're one of those people that has really bad asthma problems, you know that simple things like shoveling snow, you can end up in the hospital because your lungs will fill up with fluid. So whether you believe in it or not is irrelevant. Well, I finished that in roughly around 2014, I believe, mid 14, and I haven't done it since. And I really want to start getting back into it again. But another thing you may or may not know is I'm married to a woman, a beautiful woman, who is a vegan. And she didn't try and force me into going into her ways. She was very considerate because I was a meat eater like everybody else for a very long time. And eventually I started seeing how healthy she was, and I started researching stuff and started eating a lot healthier. Now, I didn't get to the point of being a vegan. I consider myself a vegetarian because I still eat eggs, I still eat honey, I still eat cheese. But I don't eat animals. It's just a preference for me. That doesn't mean if you do it, there's something wrong with you. I'm not here to judge. I'm just explaining my lifestyle. We've done juicing, which is one thing I highly recommend, getting yourself a juicer and then getting like fruits and raw vegetables. And if you combine them the right way, they actually taste really good. And when you have like organic orange juice and you make it yourself, you could definitely tell the difference between store brand. And I got a lot healthier. Well, over the past 2 months, I had some cravings. And these are things I haven't had in a while. Now, I'm Irish, English, and Italian. I grew up on pasta, pizza. I grew up on, steak and meatballs and meatloaf and things like that. That was something that we had on a regular basis. And you get used to it after a while. But I noticed I wasn't as sick as much when I started eating healthier, and with the sun gazing and everything, my health dramatically improved. Well, over the Christmas time, I had this craving for pizza. I hadn't had pizza in a very long time. So, especially if you live in New York, you know what Sicilian pizza is all about. They make it incredibly thick. It's loaded with cheese. And I bought it. I bought a whole pie. Now, I didn't eat it in one sitting, but throughout the whole day, I ate the entire pie, which is not normally something I would do, but that was the only thing I ate the entire day from 12 o'clock in the afternoon until probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. I was eating slice after slice. And it was so good, and the taste of it is amazing. And it's something I forgot for a while. But I ended up getting very sick the next day. And for a week and a half, all the way through to New Year's, even past, I was having breathing problems. My lungs were filling with fluid. I had a fever, could not get rid of it no matter what I did. I basically drank a lot of water, and my wife was nice enough to make me some organic orange juice. And after a while, I got better, but it took a while. So I thought, maybe it's just coincidence. Well, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I had a craving for beef. Now, I don't remember the last time I had a hamburger. Again, because I'm a vegetarian, I don't eat meat. But I don't know what it was. Something late at night after a night of DJing, I had this craving that I could not shake. I tried to avoid it. I just like, you know what? It's a one-time thing. Let me see, because I got sick with the pizza. Let me see if there's a coincidence. So I go to McDonald's at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on my way home from DJing, and I ordered just 2 quarter pounder with cheeses because they had that 2 for $5 special. Next thing I know, the next day I get sick. Now I don't get sick in the stomach. I get a severe, like, lung infection. I can't breathe. I'm getting fevers. I'm getting sweats, everything. So it's not like, oh, I ate it and it just didn't agree with my stomach. There was nothing wrong with my stomach. I got sore throat. I got congestion and really bad shaking from chills and fever. You know, when you get a really bad fever, you get to the point where you're sweating to death. Then if you get out of your blankets, you start shivering to death. It's horrible. So I'm like, all right, the first time might have been a coincidence with the pizza. The second time with the 2 quarter pounder with cheese, I got sick the next day again. I'm like, all right, there might be something to this. Well, 2 days ago, I went to work on Saturday, and my wife went with me because there was a new health food store that just opened up at the place where my massage place is. There's a whole chain of different stores, and there was a health food place she wanted to check out. So she went to work with me, and there's a McDonald's there. And I saw that they had the Shamrock Shakes. Now, I haven't had something like that I can't even remember the last time I had one. And I was just thinking, it's like, well, they usually don't have those until March. Well, it's at the time, it was beginning of January. Beginning of January. I'm like, why do they have it now? But I remember how good those tasted. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get a small one. And my wife's like, you know, what happened the other 2 times? You know, you're going to get sick. And I thought about it. But I'm like, you know what? It's just a craving. It's just one time. What harm could there be? Well, lo and behold, the next day, I get sick. And again, not stomach problems, but congestion. My lungs filled up with fluid, and I don't know if you could hear it in my voice, but I'm stuffy as hell. And I'm trying to get rid of it. I'm drinking a lot of fluid and everything. Now, to me, I don't regret these decisions because for me, like even my wife said, "What if you get sick?" When she was in the call with me. I mean, she didn't tell me no or anything. She's just like, you know what's going to happen, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's a craving, and I want to see what happens. I don't regret it because it makes me reinforce how bad this cheap food is that they have out there for us. That it's with all of the preservatives, with all the chemicals, with all the salts and everything. I mean, if you buy a bottled water from a fast food restaurant, do you know they have an ingredient? There's not supposed to be ingredients in water. So the bottled water you get, you know what the ingredient is? Sodium. What is sodium? Sodium comes from salt. What does salt do? Makes you thirsty. I mean, if you look at something like, for example, chapstick. People use that because their lips are dry and they want to add moisture. Well, one of the main ingredients is petroleum. That's gas. What does gas do when you put it on your skin? It dries it. You ever wonder why people who get that lipstick, that chapstick, they like constantly have to use it? It's because it's doing the opposite of what you want. So this actually reinforced for me that when you're buying this crap, it may be cheap, but it makes you sick. And again, I'm not saying sick to my stomach. I'm talking my lungs were filled with fluid. I'm talking about fevers, congestion for days, if not weeks. And it's the day after all 3 times. So could it be a coincidence? Who knows? But what I'm trying to warn people with, if you look at things like fluoride, for example, fluoride is a poison. Now, it's not a poison that will kill you unless you take large quantities, but it's not meant to kill you. It's meant to make you sick, because if you're sick, what will you do? You'll buy medicine from the very same people that allow things like fluoride to be in your toothpaste and in your drinking water. You ever notice they're all connected with each other? But if you look at your bottle of toothpaste, your tube of toothpaste, whatever you have, whether it's Crest or Colgate or AIM or even one of the fancy ones, you'll see a warning label, and it says, harmful if swallowed could poison control. Well, do you ever see that on a bottle of orange juice or a bottle of distilled water? You know why you don't see it? Because they don't have poison in them. But you don't think about that because, again, like I've said many times, hidden in plain sight. So if you were to swallow, and I don't recommend anybody being dumb enough to try this, if you were dumb enough to swallow a whole tube of toothpaste, it could kill you because there's poison in it. And then people say, well, I don't swallow it. It doesn't matter if you intentionally swallow it or not. You're putting it on your tongue. You're putting it in your mouth. It absorbs through. You will taste some, and it's meant to get you sick. Not sick enough to make you die, although people can die from these things. They might have allergic reactions, but it's to make you sick so you buy medicines. And they do this with cheap food. I mean, if you look at the ingredients of some of the things they put in fast foods, you'd be amazed at what they are allowed to get away with. There are certain ingredients that if it's under a certain percentage, they don't have to list it as an ingredient. And you see one thing after another with aspartame, with fluoride, with all different types of chemicals. They try and tell you, well, if you smoke, if you want to stop smoking, chewing gum is better. Yes, it's better, but the aspartame, which is in every different variety of gum, is cancer causing. And what do we give children? Chewing gum. Where do we take most of our kids, especially grandchildren and stuff? We go to places that are like fast food places because it's convenient and it's cheap. Well, poison is cheap. So for me, I'm very glad I had these cravings. Not because I was excited about eating an animal when I ate those cheeseburgers. I actually felt really guilty doing it. But what it reminded me of is why I stopped in the first place. So for me, I'm glad I did it because it confirmed that I shouldn't be eating that garbage. And I paid the price for doing so, even though I had strong cravings for it. And I noticed after I had those foods, it's like whatever chemicals they put in there made me want more and more of it, but I did not take it. I don't do it. I don't have one of those addictive personalities. And I used to drink 4 or 5 nights a week when I DJ'd being a leader singer of a band and everything and practicing. And I worked at bars. And then one day I just decided to quit and I stopped drinking. So I don't have that kind of personality. So I'm glad about that, but I'm glad that it reminded me. And I'm trying to warn people out there. Yes, I understand we're trying to save money. It's not always easy in this economy. As gas prices get higher and the dollar gets less and less valuable, it loses its, every time they print more currency, it devalues the currency and you need more of it to buy the same product and they reduce the product. I understand that people are trying to save money. But if you're trying to save money and it makes you sick, is it worth it? Especially when you have to pay for hospital bills, when your kids are constantly going to the hospital. And that's why one of the things, if you see, and if you do it correctly, you have to do it correctly. I have several videos of me sun gazing. And I know plenty of people make fun of it because people mock what they don't understand. 2 years I did the sun gazing, and for 2 years I didn't get sick once. And this is coming from a person who would get sick since I was a baby, at least 2 to 3 times a year, every year of my life. Where in the wintertime, if it was snowing out, and I went from a heated house and tried to run to the mailbox outside if it was below 30 degrees, my lungs would shut down. I'd have an asthma attack. And if I didn't have my inhaler, I could potentially die. And for 2 years, I got to the point where even in the wintertime, I was jogging on the beach in the sand barefoot for a mile and a half both ways in the winter, not having one bit of an asthma attack. It was a miracle. So people always mock what they don't understand, and that's fine. If people want to think medicines that if you read the side effects for them are worse than sometimes than the actual medicine or reason you're taking it, they charge you so much money to the point where you have to have things like Obamacare, which is bankrupting people left and right. They don't cure you, they just treat you, so you have to continually be a repeat customer, and they don't try and fix the problem. Those are what the average person out there thinks is normal. And things like looking at the sun, which is free to do, and you could do it at any time, and it is not illegal. And again, you have to do it properly, because if you stare at the sun at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to hurt your eyes. But if you do it properly, it cures you. Just like the sun, it doesn't magically make a solar panel work through magic and voodoo. It's using the beneficial energy from the sun and the molecular level, converting it into power. Well, we are beings made of nerve endings. We are electric beings. That's why we're made primarily of water, salts, and metals. They are all conductors of electricity. You have everything controlled by your nervous system. Your breathing, your heart rate, your muscle movements, everything is controlled by your nerves. What are your nerves? They send electrical currents. And where does it come from? Your brain. And if you ever actually study your brain, you will see it is a living organism of electricity. And so what is the sun made of? The same electricity. So your eyes are like solar panels, and they send the positive energy from the sun's rays into your eyes through the eye sockets and electrically charge your brain. If you want to think that's crazy just because it sounds crazy, well, all you're doing is hurting yourself. If you want medicine as your answer, go look at certain medicines. There's a medicine out there, and I'm not going to mention any brand names, but there's a medicine out there that was for arthritis. And two of the side effects were you could possibly pass out and you could possibly die. And that's better. So the people that ridicule people like me and many others that have proven through their own experiments that sun gazing, if done properly, is beneficial and healing to your body, they would rather have a medicine that could kill you. Yeah, I can understand why they think people like me are crazy. But this is what the average person, this is what we're up against. This is why the world has been controlled for centuries. It's because the people are so conditioned to believe everything that they're told without question that if anything comes along that contradicts what they've been told, instead of their brain saying, you know what, let me research it just to verify and see if it's full of crap or if it's real, they just automatically dismiss it by saying it's crazy. Well, who are you hurting? You're hurting yourself. I have not had a flu shot or a tetanus shot or anything in 10 years. And the only reason I got sick is because I went back because of cravings and tried on 3 different occasions cravings of foods I used to eat when I was younger. And all 3 times, the next day, less than 24 hours later, I got incredibly sick. And the idea is not to make you poisoned to the point where you drop dead, because you can't make people money if you're dead. But they can make you sick. So what do? You go to a doctor. You go to get prescriptions that do not heal you, that have side effects that will make you worse. Medicine today is not saying, we got to find out the root of the problem. What they're saying is, oh, you have a noise, let's cancel the noise, instead of finding out what reason the noise, where it's coming from. Modern medicine is great if you're about to die and it saves your life. Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. I mean, there are times in my life that an inhaler saved my life. But if I would have understood what was the cause of having the problems in breathing, I would have no need for the inhaler to save my life. And the more you eat healthy, the more you eat naturally, the more foods you eat raw, because believe it or not, even vegetables, if you cook your vegetables, you are burning away its nutrients. And I used to remember as a kid, like carrots. I absolutely hated cooked carrots. I didn't like the way they tasted. I hated how mushy they were. To me, a raw carrot is just natural and it tastes amazing. And I have had drinks like I said, we do juicing, where we'll take broccoli, we'll take spinach, we'll take cauliflower, we'll take apples and oranges and lemons, all organic, mixing together so you're getting just enough sweetness. It's incredible how much energy you feel. And when we were doing it every single day, I lost a pant size within 2 weeks. So I don't smoke. I don't drink. And I definitely don't want to do that stuff like eating the pizza and the quarter pounder with cheese ever again. I'm glad it was a reminder of what I decided to give up. And I'm trying to warn people out there. Especially if you're in this movement of research, if you're one of those people that just wants to hate me because you don't like me for whatever reason, that's an ego thing. That's on you. There's nothing I can do for those people that are just that stupid. I mean, I could see it on my comic book channel. I get 30 thumbs down every video from morons who all yell about the fact they don't want drama, and yet they cause it themselves. You can't fix stupid, because it is a choice. If people want to stay ignorant, that's their thing. So my thing is trying to help those who have the ability to research. So even if you're not sure about something, or even if a person is 100% right, if you verify it, you could say, well, you know what? That person, what they said was right. Or you could verify to say, you know what? That person was right, but they made this one mistake. Or they could say, wait a minute, I researched and it contradicts everything that individual or that media or that outlet said. Or you could research and say, wow, what they said is total bullshit. So I'm trying to warn people through my own experiences. Whether you agree with them or not, based on your own opinion or feelings, does not help at all. So I'm trying to help people because I care. And if you want to eat junk food because that's all you think you can afford and you love the taste of it, yes, they want to make sure things taste great. So you could have that poison taste really good. Because let me tell you something, I could take a pile of dog poop and I could dip it in caramel and I could wrap it in sugar and dough and put chocolate all over it and put in some peanuts and almonds and some raisins and maybe some coconut and some more sugar. And you'll bite into it, you'll think it's the greatest thing you've ever tasted. So you're tasting great tasting dog shit. So that's what they do. They make garbage and poison taste great. And they put in plenty of chemicals to get you addicted to it. Please somebody ask me why fast food places put sodium in water. What is the need to put sodium in bottled water other than to make you thirsty? Look at things like Gatorade. You know how they're always telling you all these energy drinks, how they're supposed to give you all of this energy? Oh, you don't want to drink water because it has electrolytes. Just like if you watch the movie Idiocracy, what did they say? It has electrolytes or something like that. They didn't even know what it meant. They just regurgitated what they were told. Oh, this stuff has such and such. Yes, but they don't tell you all the sodium it has and all the sugars it has. And that's another one. John, he talks about aluminum-free deodorant. That's why I actually make and sell my own organic products. If you go in my description of every single video, there's a link to my web store. I actually make and we use organic soaps. I make and use organic toothpaste. I make and use organic deodorant. My, what I can't say chapstick, but lip balm, whatever it is so natural you could literally eat it. I haven't used regular deodorant in 3-4 years. My family asks me all the time to make the deodorant for them because not only does it work, but it's good for you. Especially in women, when you're putting these chemicals underneath your arms, it's absorbing into your body. And they wonder why people are getting breast cancer and sick. And they put, instead of natural products, they put perfumes. When I scent my soaps, like with vanilla or peppermint or lavender, I don't use things that smell like it. I actually use the actual oil, the essential oils. It's more expensive, but it's better for you. If people actually understood, even look up how your favorite cologne is made and where it comes from. Do you know a lot of colognes are made from the sweat gland of beavers? Or I forget if it's not the sweat gland, but some kind of gland in beavers and other animals. Look it up. There are plenty of things that you think are normal that are not. They lie to us, and the governments throughout the world allow them to lie to us because the government gets lots of money off of you being sick. You're a lot easier to control if you need their medications and you need their welfare. And they keep you poor so you can't afford organic products and things. But you can grow your own food. It's just people don't want to do it because it's inconvenient. So we buy the fast food garbage. We order in for pizza because they'll be kind enough to deliver it to us. They might as well just be delivering heroin and poison in a cup. Say, here you go, on sale. So yes, some of the things I do, like sun gazing, sounds crazy because you'll never hear it on mainstream media. Well, let me tell you something. Years ago, my trolls and haters would say, oh, you're going to go blind. Well, you know what? I started sun gazing in 2012, ended in 2014. It's now 2017. I just had to renew my license last year. I told them I could just read the bottom line, make it easier for them. I'm not blind yet. But people, they mock what they don't understand. So if you want to keep using the deodorants that have aluminum in them because it's cheap, if you want to keep going to fast food places, you want to keep drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes and doing all these things, you have every right to do that. I am not going to stop you from killing yourself. It's just the same as putting a gun to your head. I can't stop you from doing something that's probably not in your best interest. But what I can do is tell you what can happen and how you can improve your life. When I was sun gazing, not only did I not get sick, but my brain was working better. I was thinking more clearly. I was coming up with inventions and ideas left and right. I didn't need as much sleep. I don't remember the last time I had a nightmare. All my dreams were positive and I would learn things. When it felt like I was on a drug, a natural drug with no side effects. And I really need to start doing it again. I mean, you want to make a nice natural toothpaste and not even have to spend money, even like, because somebody said 1111 said Tom's has fluoride toothpaste as well. They also sell non-fluoride, but it's expensive. All you have to do is get a jug or a jar of organic coconut oil. Make sure it hasn't been treated at all. You want the raw stuff. You add some baking soda. You use the Bob's Mill baking soda, the real good stuff. You can even add some hydrogen peroxide, and that will whiten your teeth if you want a teeth whitener. Because if you go to any store and you buy that $7, $8, $9 little bottle of white whitener stuff, the main ingredient is hydrogen peroxide. Well, you could buy at like Sam's Club 2 big bottles of it for $1 and have it last for months. But they don't want you to do that. They can't control you if you're self-sufficient. That's one of the reasons why in my videos I say question things if they don't resonate with you. Don't be afraid to research. Don't listen to everyone, but follow no one. You can get great ideas from both your allies and your enemies. Because a lot of times from your enemies, you can learn what not to do. And that's why I love the stupid people that are thumbing down my videos, because it shows me how proud I am to not be those idiots that basically say, I don't like you, so I'm going to go to your videos to show hate. So they have anger in their hearts on a daily basis. That's a pretty shitty way to live, if you ask me. And I'm so glad, because I have plenty of people I don't like. But I waste 0.0 seconds on them at all. Because I don't take what limited energy I have to live on this planet, wasting it on stupidity. But like I said, you can't fix stupid. So if you have ideas of things that can make you healthier, place them in the comments section. If you've ever sun gazed and sun gazed properly, tell us what you thought. There is not one person that ever really sun gazed that ever had anything bad to say about it. Idiots that have never done it and they just want to cause drama, or they get paid to do, send out misinformation, will say, oh, it's bad, it's this and it's that. Those are people that have never done it. If you actually go to video channels of people that actually sun gaze and they prove to you that they actually do it, every single one of them says the same thing. You get health benefits from it. It energizes you. You don't need as much sleep, and it's free. To me, the medicine is the crazy part. But please, do what you want to your body. So I wanted to share this. Lynn says I don't see any thumbs down. Well, if you go to my comic book channel, you'll see every video has 30 to 40 thumbs down on every single video I do. Because there are people that don't like me. And there are trolls and people that believe everything that they're told. There were people that were making lies about me, and instead of them researching it, they automatically believed it. To the point where no matter what kind of proof I tried to show that they were wrong, they still didn't believe me. And then after a while, I'm like, why am I bothering convincing idiots? That's just how people are. So that's why we've been controlled for centuries, is we believe these people because they wear suits, because they say they go to places like Harvard and Yale and Oxford, and they say they're there for our best interest. But yet we have Catholic priests that have been proven to be raping children. We have government officials proven to steal from us and lie from us and also rape children. We have corporations proving that they lie to us with the products. We have medicines that cause more problems than they do treating our problems. We have a monetary system that constantly puts us in debt. We have a media system that has been proven time and time again to be lying to us. And yet these are the people that time and time again we put our faith and trust into. The school system. And a lot of times it's not lying, it's sometimes omitting the truth. They're very famous, the media, the education system, the people that are responsible for what's in your foods and what's responsible in your medicines. They're very convenient about not telling you anything about something until enough people die that they create a lawsuit and they get sued. By that time, the CEOs ran off with billions of dollars, leaving it to be dried to somebody who bought their corporation thinking they were going to make a steal with whatever product it was. You see it all the time. How many medicines have killed people? Well, you know what? Sun gazing might sound crazy to you, but it didn't kill me. How many medicines have been taken off the shelves because they've been proven to kill people? And you want to people want to insult me because I do something that is natural, that is a God's gift. The sun is God's gift. That's why if you want real food, you get it out of the ground. It comes from the earth. You want a real beverage, you drink water that comes from the ground, comes from the earth. Everything has been provided. The air is given to you freely. from the atmosphere. Everything that you need to survive comes from the earth, and people want to call it crazy because they're ignorant. Keep using your medicines. Hopefully the medicine that you take won't be one of the ones that 5 years from now they take off the shelf because it murdered people and killed people or made them worse. And keep insulting nature's gift that's right there for you for the taking. I mean, prime example of people that don't know anything, and I'm talking about not people like us that research these things. I'm talking about the ones that just sit there and laugh and make fun of it because they can get a bunch of people to laugh with them. It makes them feel superior. Did you know that you can eat dandelions and they're healthy for you? They're very nutritious, especially when eaten raw. You can make tea out of them and you can put them in your salad. But what does society teach you about weeds? They make you take poison and spray it all over your lawn to kill it, because they don't want you to have free felt healthy food that could grow right in front of your property easily. Things that are good for you, they can't have that. So they want you to take poison, spray it on it so it pollutes the ground and pollutes the water. And that's the smart idea. But if you say to somebody you eat dandelions, they'll say, oh, dandelions? What are you, stupid? What are you, crazy? But yet they'll go and buy poisonous toxic chemicals, spray it on their lawn, infecting the ground, which seeps down into the ground, into the water, and making us sicker by the moment. They put poison in your water. They put bleach in the water. There are times it's so bad you can smell it. And the average fool out there will say, well, it's just a little bit. Let me ask these fools this, and obviously the people that are here for the right reasons, you're not the fools who, I hope you don't know that I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about the average person that will make the stupid response of, they just use a little bit. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to take a gallon of water, and in front of them, I want you to take some Clorox bleach from your laundry detergent, and I want you to just take a shot glass, fill it up, and pour it into that gallon of water and say to them, I want you to drink that. They're going to look at you like, what are you, effing crazy? And you turn to them and say, well, it's just a little bit. And see if they'll say, oh, it's just a little bit? Okay, I'll drink it. Take a 3-gallon container of water. And I don't recommend anybody do it, but to these people, say, look, here's 1 drop of cyanide. I'm going to just put 1 drop of cyanide into this 3 gallons of water. I want you to drink it. Do you think they'll drink it? No. Why? Because there's poison in it. And it doesn't matter how much poison in it. Any poison is not good for you. But there will be idiots out there who will justify them putting fluoride, and they will put other chemicals into your water, and they will respond by saying it's just a little bit. Let me stab you just a little bit and tell me that that's okay. Let me punch you just a little bit and tell me how excited you're going to be. The mentality and the control of the average person is the reason why we are still in the situations that we're in. Because they don't want to believe that nature is there to provide everything that we need. They have been conditioned to think that the government, who regulates everything in your life, whether it's what you see, whether you hear, what you read, what you ingest, what you use to quote-unquote treat you, all comes from the same places. Or at least the control of what can be said, what can be taught, what can and cannot be in your food and medicines. And we worship them, even though they are proven time and time to be dishonest criminals. We get what we deserve. And most people would rather hate people like me for it because it's easier. Because I'm right here. Here I am on my YouTube channel talking to people, even ones that hate me. So I'm an easy target. So it's very easy to take your frustrations out on me and take things out of context. And I could say 9,000 different things. I say one thing wrong, they'll focus on the one thing. This is what stupid people do. And for the people that come here for the right reasons who care, you know better. But this is why we have the problems that we have. Because 99 out of every 100 people care about the football games that happen, care about what the celebrities are tweeting, care about the latest fashion, the newest song or dance craze. They don't care about what they're putting in their body and the consequences it causes. Because a lot of times when you're young, you don't worry about what happens to you when you're 40, 50 years old. But by the time you're 40 or 50 years old, you are now feeling the effects of your choice to be ignorant. This is what they do, because by the time you get really sick, you're old enough for them to not care about you because you're not going to be productive anymore. You're not going to make them a lot of money at 50, 60, 70, 80. What do they care if you die? They can cash in their bonds that they made about you the day you were born, because when you die, they make a lot of money off of your death. They just make a lot more of it while you're alive, while you're getting taxed, while you are taking loans, while you're paying fines. The control is amazing. So as usual, you know me, I will go on a rant, I will ramble on, but 3 times I had 3 different cravings for fast food, and 3 times the next day I got deathly ill. Coincidence? It sure could be. Or maybe we need to start eating better and stop buying this garbage just because it's convenient and cheap. Unless we like to slowly kill ourselves. And I don't think many people do. As hard as this world is, I don't want to leave it. And that's why years ago when I got that death threat from some friggin' coward, for about a week I was wondering, is today the day I'm going to get shot in the head? And it made me realize the one good thing about that death threat and how it scared the living daylights out of me, no matter how hard I tried to deny it, is it made me really appreciate life. So in a way, it did me a favor. But make no mistake, whoever did that email to me is a coward and a piece of garbage. But that's how some people are. Better them than us. And on that note, I'm going to end this little video with my little rant. So if you appreciate these things, I always appreciate the effort of the thumbs up. It is something I always appreciate. Sharing my videos is amazing that anybody does that. So any of you out there that post my videos, if you think they help and you post them on your social networks and you share them, it means a lot to me. And if you want to leave comments, I may not always respond, but I'm definitely reading them. And I appreciate it. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Think for yourself. Don't ever be afraid to question. Research things. If something doesn't resonate with you, there's a reason for it. Get out of banks. Open up a federal credit union. Get yourself some gold and silver. Trust me, years from now, you're going to be very happy that you did it. And let the haters keep on hating. Because soon, there will come a moment in our financial future that they are going to turn the hate from us who tried to help them into hate for themselves for not ever listening. You get what you give. So thanks for listening. Have a great day, and say it with me. Don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered. Peace out.